Daily Bible reading, 1 Kings chapter 22, verses 24 through 54. Thereupon Zedekiah, son of Chenaanah, stepped up and struck Micaiah on the cheek, and demanded, "Which way did the Spirit of the Lord pass from me to speak with you?" And Micaiah replied, "You'll find out on the day when you try to hide in the innermost room." Then the king of Israel said, "Take Micaiah and turn him over to Amon, the city's governor, and to Prince Joash, and say, The king's orders are, put this fellow in prison, and let his fare be scant bread and scant water until I come home safe." To which Micaiah retorted, "If you ever come home safe, the Lord has not spoken through me." He said further, "Listen, all you peoples." So the king of Israel and King Jehoshaphat of Judah marched upon Ramoth Gilead. The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "Disguise yourself and go into the battle, but you wear your robes." So the king of Israel went into the battle disguised. Now the king of Aram had instructed his 32 chariot officers, "Don't attack anyone, small or great, except the king of Israel." So when the chariot officers saw Jehoshaphat, whom they took for the king of Israel, they turned upon him to attack him, and Jehoshaphat cried out. And when the chariot officers became aware that he was not the king of Israel, they turned back from pursuing him. Then a man drew his bow at random, and he hit the king of Israel between the plates of the armor, and he said to his charioteer, "Turn the horses around and get me behind the lines. I'm wounded." The battle raged all day long, and the king remained propped up in the chariot facing Aram. The blood from the wound ran down into the hollow of the chariot, and at dusk he died. As the sun was going down, a shout went through the army, "Every man to his own town, every man to his own district." So the king died and was brought to Samaria. They buried the king at Samaria, and they flushed out the chariot at the pool of Samaria. Thus the dogs lapped up his blood, and the whores bathed in it, in accordance with the word that the Lord had spoken. In other events of Ahab's reign and all his actions, the ivory palace that he built and all the towns that he fortified are all recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. Ahab slept with his fathers, and his son Ahaziah succeeded him as king. Jehoshaphat, son of Asa, had become king of Judah in the 4th year of King Ahab of Israel. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem for 25 years. His mother's name was Azubah, daughter of Shilhi. He followed closely the course of his father Asa, and did not deviate from it, doing what was pleasing to the Lord. However, the shrines did not cease to function, and the people still sacrificed and offered at the shrines. And further, Jehoshaphat submitted to the king of Israel. As for the other events of Jehoshaphat's reign and the valor he displayed in battle, they are recorded in the annals of the kings of Judah. He also stamped out the remaining male prostitutes who had survived in the land from the time of his father Asa. There was no king in Edom. A viceroy acted as king. Jehoshaphat constructed Tarshish ships to sail to Ophir for gold, but he did not sail because the ships were wrecked in Ezion Geber. Then Ahaziah, son of Ahab, proposed to Jehoshaphat, "Let my servants sail on the ships with your servants." But Jehoshaphat would not agree. Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of his father David. And his son Jehoram succeeded him as king. Meanwhile, Ahaziah, son of Ahab, had become king of Israel in Samaria in the 17th year of King Jehoshaphat of Judah. He reigned over Israel 2 years. He did what was displeasing to the Lord, following in the footsteps of his father and his mother, and in those of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had caused Israel to sin. He worshipped Baal and bowed down to him. He vexed the Lord, the God of Israel, just as his father had done.